Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by the one, the only Drew Carlson of Lakeland football. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing, Casey?
Good, man. I know we're only a few weeks away from camp starting, and we're about a month away, and we're pretty much like a few days under a month from the season starting. Entering in your senior year, this is pretty exciting, and especially after the year that you guys had, you guys want to leave a lot to prove out there.
It's pretty surreal that it's already my senior season. I mean, I got my freshman season cut off. I've worked so hard for my senior year. I've been ready for it. I've been waiting for it. We're waiting for the season to start ever since it ended. I mean, I feel like we got a lot to prove as a team where we're ready for it.
Yeah. So, what do you feel like you've worked on the most since week 9 ended last year?
I feel like it's more so not lifting in the weight room, but more building those connections and building like the chemistry and team bonding. Because I feel like that's more so important when it comes to playoff time and you're in week 10 or 11 and it's snowing and it's raining and guys might not want to be there. You gotta put like your hand on their shoulder and push them further and let them know that you have their back and that you guys can do anything you can when you're a team. And bonding, I feel like, is the most important thing.
Yeah. What Lakeland, I know, did not have the best year that you guys wanted, and what has it been like to build that chemistry between all you guys? What have you guys? The thing is, it's like it requires you to go out and do interesting things, fun things. What have you guys done?
Yeah. So there was one day in the weight room. It was like a Saturday that we just planned together. We all wore Hawaiian shirts. We're all like we wore Hawaiian shirts to kind of just little. We still got our lift in and just go. We wear something to wear like goof around. Like we go out to dinner sometimes with like groups of people. We worked last week. We had the youth Broncos camp that we all worked together with. We had Calvin said it's like the most kids we've ever had there. We had 30 plus high school kids there alone, just teaching the little kids how to play football. And even during that time, from JV players, from incoming freshmen to the seniors who have been on varsity for forever, they all just came together and it just felt like one big group instead of JV and varsity.
Yeah. So, when I know, when camp starts, it's going to be, is it going to hit you? It's like, it's the last time I'm going to put on a Lakeland jersey and go at this.
It's already started kind of hitting me because we had our last summer workout, and I'm walking back to my car, driving my neighbor who's an incoming freshman. He's like, man, I'm done for the summer. I'm like, I'm done for the rest of my life doing Lakeland football workouts. And it's kind of been hitting me. Like I have to go ask Calhoun like tomorrow or something for my jersey so I can go take senior pictures. I never imagined I'd be doing that when I was a freshman. I thought I had so much time. Like everyone says, I heard this a million times. This cliche, it goes by so fast. It goes by so fast. Like it's crazy. I can't comprehend it.
Yep. So going into this year, you're starting off at for the first time in 5 years, Lakeland will be returning to the big house. They will take on South Lyon East week 1. Obviously the last time Lakeland went there, they did pretty well. And,
Hmm.
that was of course 5 years ago. What's it going to be like to return there to a place where, I'm not sure what school you align with, but playing in a college stadium and in the big house, and what's it going to feel like going up there and walking down that tunnel? You can say for the rest of your life, I did play a game at the big house.
Yeah, I've always repped Michigan since I was a little kid. I still always will. I think it's crazy that I never thought I'd have this opportunity to go not just on a college field, but play in the big house. It's one of the biggest stadiums in the country. Like I think I think as a brotherhood, as Lakeland football, I think it will be a surreal thing to say, not just for the football team, but the whole school, the band, the poms, the cheers, everyone involved. It'll be a surreal experience that not a lot of people have gotten to experience in the past few years. But I think we all know that it'll be a tough game. I mean, Southline East is no slouch. They always come ready to play. Every team the LVC always does. So I think we're gonna be ready for it when the time comes.
Yeah, for sure. So remind everybody what position you play.
I play offensive guard and I also play defensive end.
Okay. So who was really kind of your big mentor? And helping you out in your high school years?
My big mentor, it honestly was Caden Calhoun last year because I've played so we have our little league feeder program called Lakeland Broncos, and I've played against Caden for since I can remember since like fourth grade. And every year he would always come up to me and give me advice. Always like the nicest kid ever. Once he puts on that helmet though, he becomes a different animal and he comes at you hard. And it helps. It really helps. Like I remember there's so many times where I'll run into him and he'll tell me what I'm doing wrong, call me an idiot, but then he'll smack me on the head, get me back out there, and I'll do the thing right. And he'll be the first one to congratulate me. He always is in helping. He's a big help in what I do now.
Yeah. So, I know that, looking at the schedule, like the first 2 weeks that you get to go play the big house, and then Saginaw Heritage is coming to Lakeland. So
Mhm.
how exciting is that as the non-conference game?
It is very exciting because I collectively as a team we saw that on our schedule and we kind of wanted to take the challenge because we saw them score so many points against Waterford Mount. We're like, okay, we know our offense wasn't as good as we wanted to last year. This would be a week to prove ourselves against what seemed like one of the best offenses in the playoffs, considering they scored 63 points. So we wanted to circle that and want that to be like our game where we test our offense and test to how much better we've gotten in the off season since the end of our last season.
Okay. Um, And other than that, I know there's a lot of games on the schedule that, Blake's, and then of course the conference schedule, same amount of teams and where they are. And it's what do you feel like this and this schedule's like, 5 home games, 4 road
Mm-hmm.
games, usual typical schedule. But what's it going to be like to when we get that going? I know there's obviously every game is circled on the calendar because remember,
Oh
every
yeah,
game is important.
every game counts. I think it's similar to last year where you have the start and then you have the what Coach Calhoun would call it was the slugfest in the middle, where you play teams like Western, South Lyon, and Mott, which all those teams can give anyone in the state problems. You have to come with your A game in every single one of those weeks, and if you don't, you can get run off the field very easily. Which
Yeah.
I think our team knows that. I think Calhoun and this coaching staff has instilled that. So I think at this point we all know and are all ready.
Yeah. Okay. So I know coach has not appeared on this channel yet. He will be coming up in the next few
Better.
weeks and practices start. But um when do you just talk about some of the guys that maybe to watch out for on this team?
I think personally, one of the ones that we need to watch for is Nolan Thompson. Obviously, I mean he is literally just he's a machine. Like I don't understand how he does the things he does. He's fast. He's one of the fastest on the team. He's the strongest by far on the team, and he's not. And he's also one of the smartest kids on the team, which I don't understand it. But that kid, he is a dog. He knows what he's doing. And also coming with that, his twin brother, who also is on the team, he'll most likely be our starting linebacker, and he also has the same work ethic as Nolan. They both just come to work every day. Our workhorses do not stop. They never have an off button. I'm excited for them. They're two of my best friends in school. I'm so excited for them to see what they have to do this season.
Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be fun. It's time to get to know Drew a little bit. And now it's time, first time you've ever done this, but the 10 burning questions is now on right now. So let me ask you this. Starting off with, how do you mentally prepare for a game?
For games, so it usually starts with I get home from school. Usually I have a few hours to relax. So I usually most of the time I turn on my TV and I start playing Madden or 2K, one of the two, just to stress relieve a little bit. And then I usually get like a little snack of like fruit and stuff, packing a little lunch bag, put it in my car, and I turn on my music, most likely full blast, which my mom won't really like, but I don't really care. It's before a game. I get all my stuff. Ooh, I get all my stuff, and then I drive to the stadium. I walk into the locker room, say what's up to all the guys. There's been a few times last year where I would go and play basketball before a game, just to get a little sweat going already, just to get ready for the game. Then I suit up, go to the classroom, get ready for the game.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you at responding to text messages?
like a 3. I'm terrible at responding to text messages. Like I'll see them, I'll think, oh, I know what I need to say to them, and then I'll drop my phone and go do something else. Like I'm horrible at responding to text messages. Like I never respond to my family group chat ever. Like I'm not great at all.
Okay. Okay. So the city of White Lake or Milford comes to you and says, we would like you to pick a new restaurant that we want to put in the town. What would you pick?
I am, you know, it's a tough choice because I have so many options that I'd want. I think the number one would be Chick-fil-A because everyone loves Chick-fil-A. It makes so much money. Everyone always complains that they have to drive to Novi to get Chick-fil-A, and there's always such a long line. It'd be so nice to just have one like 5 minutes down the road that I'm like, I want Chick-fil-A. I'll drive down there, go get some, go home, eat it, and not have to worry about driving the next half hour
I mean, I go by the Novi one now. Whenever I go to 12 Oaks, and it's like, yeah,
every time.
yeah, especially
Hmm.
with how bad 96 is right now. It's like, it's just like, yeah, I want to get off and do this.
Exactly.
So yeah, that'll be fun. I think you kind of talked about this. What is your pregame meal before game?
Usually it's like either a little bit of fruit or sometimes I'll have like a little bag of Mott's fruit snacks. Sometimes I'll have both, but usually just something to give me a little bit of nutrition and something to get me ready for the game. Nothing too heavy.
What do you do to make yourself feel better if you're having a bad day?
If I'm having a bad day, usually I'll just come and like sit with my family and hang out with them because they're the people I know that like I can talk to them and they won't. I can just do whatever. I can be myself. I don't have to worry about like trying to fit in or anything. I can play with my dog. I can just we can play board games. We can do whatever we want. I can beat them in Mario Kart every time because I beat them in that every time. It's not even close. I can. It's just nice to come home and have basically a safe haven that I can just be myself.
Yeah. Um, okay, how much do you remember about past seasons of football or any other sport?
I remember a decent amount from like uh mostly from most of the COVID seasons have gone out the window. I don't remember those. But like my sophomore year getting pulled up for varsity for the first time. I remember my junior season pretty well. Basketball, I remember more so my junior season and then more so like my fourth and fifth grade seasons when I first started getting into basketball because I played with my cousin and my uncle was the coach and my dad was the coach. So I remember most of those as well.
Okay. If you got to pick one social media app to use and delete the rest, what would it be?
Oh, I would say Instagram. Because
Okay.
Instagram you can use to like basically you can TikTok's a little different. Like Instagram, you can keep up with other people's lives and like your friends' lives and see what they're up to. It's basically Facebook, but like I don't use Facebook because none of my friends use Facebook.
When you get older, you'll probably have to get another one of those things.
I have it now, like every now and then, like I'll check my grandma's post and
The,
like
the funny thing is like, I never used to use Facebook. When the last few years, and then I think just this year I just started using it again for some things, and I'm like,
yeah,
actually, it's like it's not that bad because the thing is, it's like because you've been out so long, you want to see what everybody's up to, you want to see what people in high school are up to that you went with and all that, and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
It's a
All right, now it's time for the most controversial question on this list. Rank your top 5 fast food restaurants. Now, to clarify, there are
five.
now
Oh,
you can
okay.
use fast food or you can use the premium fast food category if you want to. So fast food is like your typical, like your Wendy's, your McDonald's, your Burger Kings, and all that. The premium
Yeah.
fast food category, that's like your Paneras, your Five Guys, your Chipotle's, your Panda Expresses, and all that.
Yep. I'm gonna get flamed for this because every time I do this with my friends, they always yell at me because my tier list sucks compared to theirs. Um, Number 5, I'm probably gonna have to go Wendy's.
Yeah.
Number 4, this one's the controversial one, but Jimmy John's. I love Jimmy John's. Number 3, I'm gonna have to go with the good old McDonald's. Number 2, Oh, I don't know about number 2 is a hard one because I know my number 1. I know my number 1. Number 2 is I'm gonna have to s oh, no, that's not it. God, I'm getting mad because I don't know it. I have to say Chipotle because I've only had Chipotle one time, and it blew me out the water. That was one of the best fast foods I've ever had. And then
Yeah.
number 1's gotta be Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's, hands down, the best sandwich you can ever get. It is it's way better than everything else.
Yeah. I just went to, a few months ago, I went to Jersey Mike's for like the very first time, and I'm like,
Really.
people are like,
It's
why don't you go? I'm like, I don't know. So I just went
so
there one day.
good.
I'm like, just try it. I'm like,
Mhm.
this is good.
It is very
Why
good.
why didn't I do this like? Why didn't I do this like? Why didn't I eat this like 5 years ago?
Like, I would have never chose to go there, but my dad takes me there all the time, so that's why I love it now. Like, I would never pick out, "I wanna go to Jersey Mike's when I'm 8 years old." No, my dad took me there. I'm like, "Oh, it's pretty good." So I ate it. It was really good, so I kept eating it.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, now there's a Jersey. Well, you have to go to Brighton for the closest Jersey Mike's.
Mhm.
I know there's
Yeah.
one. I think there's one in Novi. I'm not. Don't quote me on that, but I believe there is
Yeah.
one. I believe there's one in. I don't know. We'll have to look this up after the show. You can if there is a Jersey Mike's in Novi, put it in the comments. And by the way, don't forget to like and subscribe while you're at it too. So there you
Do it.
go. But okay, so here's the next one. What is a song that you know every word to without looking at the lyrics?
See, I don't know, because there's a few that, like, I know most, and there's, like, a little part that I just forget, and I'm like, "What do they say?" I don't know. Um, I would probably say No Role Models by J. Cole is probably the one that
Okay,
I would know the best,
okay,
because that's the one song I put on in the car and all my friends know it, so we all sing the lyrics, so over time, I've gotten used to it, and I can just sing it off.
absolutely. Okay, next thing is, and the last one, if you could say something to your younger self, something you know now but didn't know then, what would it be?
It'd probably just be, like, don't quit, because in 7th grade, I almost quit football. I almost quit football because I was this close to doing it, because I hated the workouts, I hated the summer stuff, I hated the practices, I hated everything about it besides the games, and I was sitting there in 7th grade, I'm like, "Don't." I was like, "You never know this is gonna go, so just keep playing it." And so I kept playing it, and it's been one of the best things that's happened to me. And same thing with basketball happened when I was younger. I was like, "I don't wanna play this anymore. I don't wanna go to
Everyone
practice. I
has
don't
that,
wanna put in the work."
everyone's got that breaking point and they're like, oh,
Mhm.
maybe it's like, oh, usually what happens is everyone goes to bed and like, oh, I
Yeah,
need to do this again.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how it works. All right. Well, Drew, thanks so much for coming on and talking with us. And best of luck this season. We'll definitely have you on again.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Casey. Thank you.